Stop. Do not scroll past this. Take a deep breath and release it. Can you feel that? This moment, the stillness in the midst of the chaos in your mind. This sudden pause is not an accident. You finding this video right at this very moment is not an algorithmic coincidence. It is a divine appointment. An appointment that was scheduled in the unseen realms, etched into your timeline long before you were even born. Every breath you just took is a signal that you are still here, that you are still chosen, that you are still seen, and that you are still wanted by a power greater than anything you can imagine. You think you are alone? You think your prayers have vanished into thin air? You think no one sees the battle you are silently fighting every single day? Heaven has seen it. And tonight, an urgent message is being delivered directly from your guardian. Archangel Michael proclaims, I command you to open this message now. This is not an entertaining video for you to scroll past. This is not something you can casually dismiss while waiting for something more interesting. This is not a game. This is the final, urgent spiritual warning for your soul. Do not tell anyone about this. Do not ignore it. And above all, do not doubt this timing, because something has happened, something that directly involves you. Last night, while you were sleeping, or perhaps tossing and turning with nameless anxieties, a secret meeting took place. A meeting about your life, about your future, about your very soul. And that meeting has just ended. And when the door to that secret room opened, someone walked out, hands trembling, their face pale. They were speechless. And on their cheek was a tear. But it was not a tear of remorse. It was a tear of panic. A wordless confession. The truth must be revealed to you right now, before the wrongdoers have a chance to speak first, before they can weave a different story to cover up what they have done. Archangel Michael has fought for you relentlessly, not for humanity in general, not for some group of people. Night after night, in realms you cannot see, he has fought for you. And now, he is here to ensure that you hear the truth, the whole truth. Stay, listen, because your life is about to change forever. Do you believe in destiny? Or do you believe in chance? Whatever your answer, know this. This moment, this very second, is a preordained intersection. It is not a product of coincidence. It is an invitation sent from the eternal realms, crossing space and time to find you precisely when you need it most. Think of the billions of videos, the millions of channels, the thousands of choices you could have clicked on, but you are here. Why? Because your soul heard a call that your mind may not have recognized. Yet the message you are about to hear is not just a random assortment of words. It is a sacred symphony, a spiritual cipher that was divinely arranged for you, and you alone, long before your soul chose this body, this life. It is woven from the threads of your past, your present, and your future, containing the keys to unlock your deepest pains, questions, and desires. This is not a generic message for the masses. This is a personal letter from the universe, addressed only to your heart. And if you still have doubts, if a small voice in your head is trying to dismiss this as just another coincidence, do this. Place your hand on your chest. Do you feel that beat? The breath that still fills your lungs. That is not an unconscious act. It is a signal, a confirmation that you are still chosen, that among billions of souls you are still seen, that you are still wanted by the Creator. Your breath in this very moment is the sacred seal that confirms you are worthy of hearing the truth. It is living proof that you are not invisible, not abandoned. Heaven is watching you right now with a love and concern that never runs out. Now, focus, because this is not a gentle piece of advice. This is not a suggestion. This is a divine command issued by one of heaven's most powerful warriors. Archangel Michael, the protector of the innocent, the fighter against darkness, stands before you in the spiritual realm and declares with finality, I command you to open this now. Listen with all of your soul. The word command is used not to control you, but to underscore the immeasurable urgency and importance of this message. In a digital world where we scroll past everything in seconds, where our attention is fragmented into 100 tiny pieces, this command is a wake-up call. It pulls you from the state of casual content consumption. Michael is telling you, this is not a message you scroll past. This is not something you casually dismiss. This is not entertainment. This is a spiritual intervention. Consider this your final urgent spiritual warning. Why final? Because some windows of opportunity do not stay open forever. There are critical moments that, if missed, can divert the flow of your life onto a path not meant for you. A path filled with delays and suffering orchestrated by the enemy. The sense of urgency you are feeling is not anxiety. It is your spirit. Recognizing the gravity of this moment, and to protect the sanctity of this message, Michael continues to command, do not tell anyone. Do not ignore this. Do not doubt the timing. Why the secrecy? Because this truth is for you first. It needs to be planted in the soil of your soul without being contaminated by the doubt or scorn of others. When you share it too soon, you dilute its power. Not ignoring it, it is a test of your obedience and faith. And not doubting the timing is an acknowledgement that a greater intelligence is orchestrating everything for your highest good. Trust this divine setup. Now we get to the heart of the matter. The reason for all this urgency. The reason Michael had to intervene so forcefully. It is because a secret meeting about you has just concluded. Let that sink in. A meeting, secret, about you. Instantly, a barrage of questions floods her mind. Who was there? What did they say? Why was it a secret? Where did it happen? In a cold office? Or in an unseen realm? Curiosity mixed with a touch of anxiety begins to rise within you. That is the psychological hook, pulling you deeper into this story. But the most dramatic part, the detail that makes this whole situation so alarming, is this: someone burst into tears as they walked out. Picture the scene. The door opens and a person emerges, not with a look of triumph or satisfaction, but with a face soaked in tears. Their hands are trembling. They can't speak. That tear is not just an expression of sadness. It is a confession, a crack in the wall of lies, a revelation that what was discussed, what was decided inside that room, was something so cruel, so wrong, that one of the participants could no longer bear the weight of it. That tear was the first sign of divine intervention. Why must you know this immediately? Michael warns, you must hear it now before the wrong person speaks first. This indicates there is a race against time. There is a desperate attempt from the enemy to control the narrative, to get to you first with a twisted version of the truth. They might tell you it was your fault, that you imagined things, or they might play the victim. Heaven is moving quickly to arm you with the unadulterated truth, so you can recognize the lies when they come. And in the midst of all this conspiracy and chaos, there is one solid truth you must hold on to. Archangel Michael has fought night after night, not for everyone, but for you. Even when you felt your most alone, even when you thought no one cared, a warrior of light was standing guard over your soul, deflecting the invisible arrows aimed at you. This protection is not an abstract concept. It is a living reality. And now, that protector is pulling back the curtain to show you the real war being waged for your life. Now, the biggest question echoes in your mind. Who was in that room? Who dared to deliberate over my destiny? The answer may shock and grieve you. It wasn't distant enemies, faceless strangers. The meeting was attended by a powerful group, some familiar, some in disguise. Familiar. That word is terrifying. It implies that among those conspiring against you are people you know, perhaps people you greet daily, people you've shared your secrets with, people you trust. In disguise. This word reveals deceit, duplicity. There are people wearing a mask of friendship, of concern, but behind that mask lies a completely different agenda. They are in your life, but they are not for you. The eyes of most of them were cold, a coldness of the callous, of those who view another's pain as a means to an end. They discussed you as if you were a pawn on their chessboard. And this is the crucial point, one of them cried when your name was mentioned. This person, though part of the conspiracy, still had a shred of conscience left, or perhaps a fear of the consequences of their actions. That tear was a crack in their perfect plan. This person could not bear the cruelty of the plot about to be enacted. They saw the light in you, and the thought of extinguishing it broke them. The betrayal deepens when the message reveals someone who once pretended to love you was in that room, and their mask fell. Think about that. A person who spoke words of love, who gave you a sense of security, was the very one sitting in the shadows, plotting against you. And there's more. Someone who always acted as if they cared for your well-being smiled when your name came up in a cruel sentence. A malicious smile, a sick satisfaction at the thought of your downfall. This is the most painful backstabbing, as it comes from the places you least expect. To make it even more specific and frightening, the message names them. One of your relatives lied. One of your friends lied. One of your spiritual leaders lied. Family, friends, and even those you turn to for spiritual guidance. This web of betrayal is vast and sophisticated. It's designed to corner you from all sides, leaving you with nowhere to turn. And it's not just the active plotters, but also the silent accomplices. Someone around you knew something and chose to remain silent. They knew the truth, but they were afraid, and that fear turned into betrayal. Finally, a specific detail, a key figure is unmasked. A man was present at that meeting, pretending to be neutral, but deep in his heart, he harbored a profound jealousy of your light. This is the most dangerous enemy, someone you would never suspect. His jealousy is not loud. It's silent and toxic. He is jealous of your potential, your joy, the favor heaven has for you. And it was he who provided ideas on how to delay your voice, your power, your path. He was the architect of the stagnation in your life. So, what did they discuss in that secret meeting? They weren't just bad-mouthing you. They were drafting a detailed plan, a comprehensive strategy to control and sabotage your life. They made decisions about your future without ever telling you. They intruded upon every corner of your existence. They discussed your love life, your family, your finances, your pain, your talents, your calling, your suffering. No aspect was left untouched. They wanted to decide who would love you, whether your family would be at peace, how much you would struggle with money, what pains you would have to endure, how your talents would be buried, and how the divine calling in your soul would be silenced. The level of control they desired is staggering and sick. What was their main objective? It was simple: how to keep you small, how to limit what you know, how to ensure you would never discover what has been taken from you spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. They don't want to kill you. They want you to live a small, mediocre life in an invisible cage. They want you to believe that this is all you are, that you have no great potential. They want you to live in ignorance of your own greatness and of the inheritances and blessings that have been stolen from you. The core purpose of the meeting can be summarized in this sentence. They were trying to silence something, to stop something, to delay something. That something is your destiny, your calling, your inheritance, the safety and peace of your soul. You are on the verge of a major breakthrough, and they know it. This meeting was their last-ditch effort to stop the dam from breaking. To achieve this, they created a spiritual prison. Michael reveals that they held a meeting to keep you in chains, a spiritual prison made not of walls but of deception, delays, and manipulation. The walls of this prison are the lies they've planted in your mind. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. You'll never succeed. The bars are the delays, the missed opportunities, the broken relationships. The guards are the very traitors you trusted. Why would they do all this? Because they fear you. They know that if you ever find out who you are, nothing can stop you. Again, they know that within you is an irrepressible power, a light that can dispel all darkness. So they gathered in the shadows to plot your silence, your distraction, your discouragement. This entire conspiracy is built on a foundation of fear, their fear of your true potential. In summary, their overarching goal was to keep you small and limited. They want you to live a life beneath your potential. They want you to accept a downsized version of yourself, a version they have edited and censored. Their plan is a comprehensive effort to strip you of your power and awareness, so that you remain a lost sheep, never realizing you are a lion. They want to prevent you from discovering the truth about who you are, the truth about what happened, and the truth about what was stolen. They did this by placing spiritual blockades on your timeline to ensure your eyes remained closed. These blockades could be self-doubt, fear of failure, clinging to toxic relationships, or being distracted by the petty dramas of life. Anything to keep your eyes from looking up, from looking within. But here is where they miscalculated, the part that is most terrifying for them. They did not expect God to intervene. They were too arrogant, too confident in their plans. They thought they were operating in a space where God didn't care or couldn't see. They thought this meeting would forever be a secret. That pride was the seed of their downfall. They underestimated God's love for you and His power to protect His children. And even when their first plan was thwarted by divine intervention, they did not stop. Their malice knows no bounds. After God had blocked, stopped, and canceled the first plan, the enemy did not stop. They tried again recently. This shows that the war is still ongoing. Their persistence in trying to harm you only highlights your importance in heaven's plan. You must be someone incredibly special for the enemy to expend so much effort to stop you. In the thick of the conspiracy's darkness, a light flashed. An unexpected event shook the foundations of their wicked plan. The sign of divine intervention wasn't a thunderclap or an earthquake. It began quietly, with a single tear. The moment the first tear fell, upon the table, the angel assigned to your life, Michael, stood up in the spiritual realm, and heaven fell silent. That tear was more than just sadness. It was a confession. It was a signal to heaven that the fortress of lies had begun to crack. It was the moment the burden of the truth became too much for one of the conspirators to bear. The power of truth, even when suppressed, can shatter the hardest of hearts. The one who cried could no longer keep the secret hidden. Someone in that room could no longer hold the truth in. They broke down. They saw the truth, and it broke them. But this breakdown did not come from pure remorse. It came from panic and fear. Why? Because they knew the divine eye was upon them. For a moment, the veil was lifted, and they realized their secret meeting was not secret at all. They felt the presence of God, and it terrified them. They saw a vision of your future, and it horrified them. They saw your greatness, your success, your vindication, and they knew they were on the wrong side of cosmic history. The one who cried, in that moment, became an unwilling messenger. They were carrying a spiritual envelope. It wasn't made of paper. It was made of divine exposure, and inside that envelope was a message meant only for you. This envelope is the symbol of the truth that is about to be revealed, a truth that will set you free and change everything. Their tear triggered an irreversible chain of divine events. When that tear fell, Archangel Michael moved. The spiritual battle escalated to its peak. While the enemies were plotting in the shadows, Michael stood before your name as a shield. He roared in the unseen realm, not this one. Visualize that image. Your name, your very soul, being enveloped by a brilliant, impenetrable shield of light. And in front of that shield stands a great warrior angel with a flaming sword, roaring an absolute refusal to any plan intended to harm you. Not this one means this soul is not for the trampling. This destiny is not for the stealing. This future is not for the ruining. It is a supreme declaration of ownership and protection. And then Michael speaks directly to you, across all distance, to calm your anxious heart. I am here. I never left, and I am revealing everything right now. This is a profound affirmation. There may have been times in your life when you felt completely alone, abandoned. This message comes to shatter that illusion. Michael was always there, witnessing every tear, every pain, every injustice. He didn't intervene sooner, not because he didn't care, but because the divine timing had not yet come. Now that time has arrived, his power is being unleashed. Archangel Michael is shaking the heavens with his sword, crying out, "The divine hand is moving, the seals are broken. This soul will not be stolen. Heaven will fight for them now. This is no longer a silent war. This is an all-out offensive from heaven. The seals, symbols of secret contracts and curses, are being broken. Heaven, with all its angelic legions, is now on your side, to certify." This shift, Michael declares, your name is written on a scroll that is burning with glory. This image symbolizes that your destiny is being publicly reaffirmed in the spiritual realm. It is no longer a hidden secret. It is a blazing torch, signaling that justice has been activated and the time of divine vengeance has begun. Michael's protection is not new. He has been your silent guardian for a very long time. I have stood by you in battles you didn't even know were happening. I have blocked attacks you were never aware of. I have diverted evil plans designed to break you. Every time you narrowly escaped an accident, every time a toxic relationship ended on its own, every time a door suddenly closed, that was not a coincidence. That was Michael in action, protecting you from traps you could not see. And now, as you step into this new chapter of your life, his presence becomes more vivid and powerful than ever. I walk beside you, sword drawn, wings outstretched, power blazing. You are no longer walking alone. You are being escorted by heaven's greatest warrior. Feel the power and safety in that image. As powerful as Michael is, the ultimate power belongs to God. And in this case, God intervened directly and decisively. In the midst of the secret meeting, a sudden spiritual intervention disrupted their evil plan. Perhaps it was a voice in their minds, a sudden feeling of dread, or an event that broke their concentration. Whatever it was, their plan was brought to a halt. And then a final verdict was issued from the very throne of heaven. God said, "I have blocked it, I have stopped it, I have canceled it." 3 decisive actions. Blocked it means preventing it from moving forward. Stopped it means ending it immediately. Canceled it means rendering it null and void, as if it never existed. This is the declaration of God's supreme power. No conspiracy of man or demon can stand against his will. This declaration brings absolute peace and reassurance. You are protected by the greatest power in the universe. God acted because this is a special season in your life, a season that cannot be contaminated by lies. He is preparing you for something great, an elevation, a restoration. And to do that, he must clean up your environment. He will not allow that mask to remain on the faces of the deceitful any longer. This exposure is an act of love, to protect the purity of your future. Finally, the ultimate truth is revealed. Whatever the enemy plotted, they were already too late. The decision from heaven had been made before they ever gathered. Your glorious destiny was already decreed. Your bright future was already written. That meeting was too late. All their efforts were just futile echoes in a room already destined for failure. God's plan is always one step ahead, and His plan for you is one of hope, prosperity, and victory. Now, let us courageously look directly into the darkness at what was truly discussed inside that secret room. The level of detail in their conspiracy will astound you. They weren't just targeting one aspect of your life. They wanted to control it all. They discussed your love life, your family, your finances, your pain, your talents, your calling, your suffering. Think of the arrogance. A group of people sat down to decide if you are worthy of love, if your family should be at peace, how much you should struggle with money, which of your talents would be buried, and how the divine calling in your soul would be silenced. They even planned your pains as if they were the architects of your anguish. They went even further. They planned who would stay in your life and who would be pushed out. This means that many of your past relationships, people who left suddenly, or toxic people who clung to you, may not have been random. They were manipulated by these forces. This is a profound wake-up call. Not everyone who enters your life is there for your best interests. Some are actors planted by the enemy. Their ultimate goal, as mentioned, was to keep you small and unaware. They discussed how to keep you small, how to limit what you know, how to ensure you would never discover what has been taken from you, emotionally and even physically. This is a comprehensive strategy of suppression. Spiritually, they wanted to sever your connection to God. Emotionally, they wanted you to believe you were unlovable. Physically, they may have induced illnesses, unexplained fatigue to weaken you, and to make this conspiracy official and seemingly legal in the unseen realm, they created documents. Last night, a document with your name on it was brought into the room. This document contained secrets, records, signatures, some forged, some real, but all pertaining to you. The clear intention was to silence something. This is horrific. It shows the conspiracy reached the level of spiritual contracts, agreements signed in the dark to bind you. There may be forged signatures of your name on spiritual documents, giving the enemy authority over your life. This betrayal wasn't just verbal. It was systematized and organized. What makes this truth most painful is not the conspiracy itself, but the people who carried it out. The greatest shock comes from the betrayal of those closest to you. The message repeats this mercilessly so. You cannot deny it. Someone who once pretended to love you was in that room, and their mask fell. Someone who always acted as if they cared for your well-being smiled when your name came up in a cruel sentence. They laughed. Try to endure that image. Laughter. Laughter at your pain, at your innocence, at your trust. It's a whip that strikes the heart directly. The betrayal is not just an act. It's an emotion, a wicked satisfaction the enemy feels. It came from someone you might have once thought would be your protector. This web of betrayal spreads like a malignancy. One of your relatives lied. One of your friends lied. One of your spiritual leaders lied. This repetition is like a hammer, shattering any illusion you had of safety in your relationships. Family, which should be a refuge. Friends, who should be allies. Spiritual leaders, who should be guides. All were infiltrated. This can make you feel completely isolated, as if there is no one left to trust. And then there is the passive betrayal, the complicity of silence. Someone around you knew something and chose to remain silent. They were afraid of what would happen if you ever found out the truth, and that fear led to betrayal. This person may not have hated you, but they loved themselves more. They were afraid of getting involved, afraid of retaliation from the enemy. Their silence allowed the conspiracy to continue. And the message is clear. That fear was justified because your spirit had already begun the separation. Your soul sensed their betrayal and began to automatically create distance, even if you didn't understand why. Finally, there is the most subtle and dangerous form of betrayal. Someone you trusted was feeding information about you to someone who did not want you to succeed. They were giving your words to people who would twist them. They were manipulating timelines. This traitor acts as a double agent. You confide in them, sharing your dreams, your fears. And they take all that information, your vulnerabilities, to the enemy. They use your own pain as a weapon against you. This is the highest level of breach of trust. Now, it all starts to make sense. All the psychological burdens, the uncomfortable feelings you've carried for so long, they were not your fault. That pain in your chest, that strange insomnia, that feeling that someone was watching you, that was not paranoia. It was your spiritual sensitivity as heaven tried to reach you. You thought you were depressed, anxious, or simply too weak. But no, those physical and emotional symptoms were evidence of an intense spiritual battle raging around you. Your soul is sensitive, and it was picking up on the invisible attacks. The pain in your chest was the grief of your soul being betrayed. The insomnia was your spirit on high alert. The feeling of being watched was real, because you were indeed being watched, both by the enemy and by your guardian angels. And you felt it, haven't you? The message asks you directly for your own confirmation. That sudden anxiety, that strange silence from people you trusted, that gut feeling that something was just not right. Your intuition, your gut, has been screaming warnings at you. But perhaps you brushed it aside, thinking you were overthinking. This message comes to confirm that your intuition was 100% correct. The feeling that something was not right was because it really wasn't right. This truth also completely reframes your past. What you thought was delay was actually divine protection. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, that sudden betrayal, that ghosting, that wasn't rejection. It was redirection. This is a life-changing revelation. Every door that slammed in your face, every disappointment, every pain was not a punishment. It was an act of rescue by God. He was pulling you off paths that led to traps set by the enemy. Finally, you must understand the true nature of what you have been experiencing. You have to understand this is not just a terrestrial issue. This is spiritual warfare disguised as confusion. That feeling of fatigue, brain fog, the self-doubt you felt recently, it is all the spiritual residue from what they tried to place upon your mind. The enemy tried to create a fog of confusion, so you couldn't think clearly, couldn't hear God's voice. But now, the truth is shining like a lighthouse, dispelling that fog forever. The burden you feel is not yours to carry. It is time to put it down. For a long time, you might have wondered if you were losing your mind. You doubted your own perceptions. Today, that doubt ends. This message comes to powerfully validate that what you have been feeling is absolutely real. That pain in your chest, that strange insomnia, that feeling that someone was watching you, that was not paranoia. It was your spiritual sensitivity as heaven tried to reach you. You are not weak. You are actually very strong. Your soul has a high degree of sensitivity, an ability to perceive energies and events in the unseen realm. It is a gift, not a curse. Heaven has been using that very sensitivity to try and send you signals, to warn you that something was amiss. And you kept thinking it was just stress, just fatigue, just a coincidence. But Archangel Michael says it was never a coincidence. In God's universe, nothing is random. Every event, every feeling, every sign is part of a larger tapestry. Your dismissal of your own feelings was a strategy of the enemy to keep you in ignorance. They want you to believe you're just stressed so that you don't look for the deeper spiritual cause. Those feelings were direct warnings from your intuition, from the Holy Spirit within you. That sudden anxiety, that strange silence from people you trusted, that gut feeling that something was just not right, it was because it wasn't. Your intuition is your divine alarm system. When it goes off, it's because there is a real threat. The silence from people you once trusted was a giant red flag. It was the silence of guilt, or the silence of someone who had chosen a side. Hear this validation and let it heal all self-doubt. You are not wrong about your intuition. The dreams, the signs, the restlessness you felt, that was not random. That was God preparing your spirit. That was the Holy Spirit warning you that they were meeting behind your back. The strange dreams of snakes, of betrayal, the repeating numbers you saw everywhere, the unshakable restlessness in your soul, all of it was communication. God did not leave you to face this alone. He gently prepared you, planting seeds of awareness in your subconscious, so that when the truth was revealed, you would not be completely shocked. You would realize that deep down, you've known this all along. Now, look back on your life through a completely new lens. One of the most powerful and liberating messages heaven wants you to hear today is this: it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Think about the doors that slammed shut in your face, the job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, that sudden betrayal, that ghosting that wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every single one of those failures, every one of those heartbreaks was actually a great act of rescue. You cried, you grieved, you wondered why God had abandoned you. But the truth is, He was fiercely protecting you. Why? Because if those things had succeeded, you would have walked straight into a trap set by the very people who sat in that room. Yes, it is that deep. That job might have placed you in a toxic environment where your gifts were stifled. That relationship might have connected you with someone sent to sabotage your destiny. Success in those areas would have drawn you deeper into the enemy's web. God had to close those doors to save you. The short-term pain of rejection saved you from the long-term pain of destruction. Shift your perception. What you thought was delay was actually divine protection. You felt like you were falling behind, that everyone was moving forward while you were stuck. But that delay was a period of grace. God was holding you back, protecting you in a divine cocoon while He cleared the path ahead for you. He was removing enemies, breaking curses, and preparing a safe road for you to walk on. And the most miraculous part is that all of this happened in silence. Do you understand that some of the most powerful moments of your life happened in complete spiritual silence? When it felt like no one was answering, when the prayers seemed to go unheard, when people betrayed you without remorse. God was moving, hidden, silent, deep, rearranging the entire fabric of your future. It was in the moments you felt most abandoned that God was working the most actively. He didn't answer you with words, as that might have alerted the enemy. He moved in silence, like a master chess player, strategically moving the pieces to ensure your ultimate victory. The silence of heaven was not absence. It was intense concentration. Let's return to the tear, the starting point of this revelation. At first, we thought it was a confession, a spark of remorse. But the truth is more complex and profound. The message clarifies. The tears they cried after the meeting were not of repentance. They were of panic. They panicked because they knew the divine eye was upon them. God's presence suddenly became too real for them. They realized their sin was exposed before the highest court, and there was nowhere to hide. The fear of judgment, of retribution, broke them, not compassion for you. But what truly triggered that panic? This is a stunning revelation. The one who cried in the meeting, they saw your face in a vision. They saw what would happen to you if they remained silent. They saw your future, And it terrified them, not because you were doomed, but because your breakthrough was so powerful, so radiant, so divine, that they knew the enemy would stop at nothing to prevent it. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. That person did not cry out of pity for you. They cried because they were shown a glimpse of your glory. They saw you in your true form, powerful, radiant, anointed by God, and the sight of it terrified them. They were terrified of the power they were trying to suppress. They were terrified of the fact that they were fighting against someone protected by heaven. Their tears were an admission of their own defeat in the face of your unstoppable destiny. In that moment, for the first time, they felt real guilt, real grief, real fear, because heaven was watching. The fear opened a small door for guilt to creep in. They realized the scale of what they had done. They understood they weren't just fighting you, but God Himself. And as a result, the one who cried knew they no longer controlled the narrative. They held. Their power had vanished. The secret was out. The truth was on its way to you, and nothing could stop it. Their tear was the first white flag of surrender in this spiritual war. This moment, you hearing this message, is a turning point. God says this is not a test. This is your moment of revelation. The moment everything starts to make sense. All the scattered pieces of your life, the pains, the questions, the coincidences are now being assembled into a complete picture. The fog of confusion is lifting, and you are seeing things clearly for the first time. This shift was triggered by a sovereign act. God intervened. A sudden spiritual intervention disrupted their evil plan. You did not get out of this mess on your own. You were rescued. And the messenger of this rescue, Archangel Michael, is here to complete the mission. He says, I am here, I never left, and I am revealing everything right now. This promise ensures you will receive the whole truth, unedited, unhidden. Every secret will be brought into the light. What was hidden is now being dragged into the light. Prepare yourself. In the coming days and weeks, you may hear truths, see evidence, or have sudden realizations that will confirm this message. Masks will fall. Lies will be exposed, and you will understand a critical truth about your past. They thought your silence was weakness. They never realized your silence was protection. God was hiding you in plain sight. When you were quiet, when you withdrew, it wasn't because you were weak or scared. It was God concealing you from the eyes of the enemy. He made you invisible to their plans. Your silence was a divine strategy, a cocoon to protect you while He prepared for your emergence. Now, shed all the lies, the accusations, the labels that the enemy, and even you yourself have placed upon you. Listen to who God says you are. This is the core truth of your being. God says, you are not who they say you are. You are not your past. You are not your worst mistake. You are not a joke. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. You are not cursed. You are not abandoned. You are not disqualified. You are not weak. You are mine, and I am raising you up in the silence, in the strength, in the storm, in the solitude. Read every line, every word again. Let it sink into every cell of your being. This is your declaration of freedom. Every vicious curse, every slander, every judgment is nullified by this declaration. You belong to God, and that defines everything. He was lifting you up even in your darkest moments, when you thought you were sinking. God, why were you chosen for such a great destiny? You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. You did not give up even when everything screamed, give up. You kept going, you kept believing, you kept praying, you kept showing up, and now is your time. Heaven does not look for perfection. It looks for perseverance. Your faithfulness in the hardest of times is what got heaven's attention. Your refusal to quit was the most powerful act of worship. And now, your reward is coming. God wants you to know that He saw it all. God says, you are not forgotten. You have never been overlooked. I have watched every moment of your suffering, every injustice, every misunderstanding. I have recorded every cry you sent up to heaven when no one was listening, and I am here to answer. Every one of your tears is held in a sacred bottle. Every one of your whispered prayers is recorded in the books of heaven. Nothing was wasted. And now is the season of the answer. Perhaps you have often asked yourself, why am I always the one who cares more, loves more, gives more, but receives less? You felt used, taken for granted. But God says you are not the one with less. You are the one being prepared for more. Your big heart, your ability to give unconditionally, is not a weakness. It is training. God was expanding your capacity so you could receive the massive blessings He has prepared. You are not receiving less. You are being emptied to hold more. Finally, Archangel Michael stands as your witness. I stand before you not just as your protector, but as your witness. You are innocent, and heaven is about to make that known. Whatever accusations have been thrown at you, however you have judged yourself, the final verdict from heaven is innocent. Your vindication is coming, and it will not be quiet. The world will know the truth about you. The enemy's plan has utterly failed. Now is the time for the divine reversal. Michael declares it with authority. They cannot stop what God is about to do, not the ones who plotted against you, not the ones who laughed at your pain, not the ones who tried to erase you, not the ones who ghosted you, not the ones who lied on your name, not the ones who met in secret, not even the one who cried when they walked out. That list is all-inclusive. No one, no power, can stand in the way of God's will for your life. Their power has been neutralized. Michael's intervention when he roared in the unseen realm, not this one, put a final stop to their conspiracy. But heaven does not just stop at protection. It also brings justice. God is not just giving you grace. He is giving you vengeance. Divine vengeance is not petty retaliation. It is the restoration of cosmic order. It is ensuring that what was taken is returned, and those who did wrong will face the consequences of their actions. Your pain was not in vain. Every tear you have cried has been seen, and now it has become your weapon. The energy of that pain is being transmuted into power to propel you forward and to hold your enemies accountable. In the spiritual realm, a great cleansing is underway. Michael is opening the scrolls. Now old karmic debts are being settled. Contracts made in silence are being torn up. Agreements that were made about you, agreements you never knew about, are being broken in the spirit realm. All the invisible ties, generational curses, secret agreements that held you back are being nullified. You are being set free on the deepest spiritual level. And what about those who tried to limit you? The ones who tried to label you, to limit you, to lie on your name, they are being summoned for a divine review. They will have to face what they have done. Justice is coming for them, just as grace is coming for you. This reversal is perfect. What was meant to delay you will now accelerate you. Every obstacle the enemy placed will become your launching pad. Every attempt to hold you back will only make your breakthrough more spectacular. The reason for their failure is simple. The secret meeting failed because the one thing they did not account for was God's intervention. A sudden spiritual intervention disrupted their evil plan. They underestimated their opponent. They forgot that you do not fight alone, and as a result, your name is echoing through the spiritual realms. The angels are whispering it as they descend to earth. You are no longer an unknown. You are becoming a legend in the unseen. Your name is synonymous with perseverance, faith, and heavenly favor. As your light begins to shine brighter, it will attract attention. And some of that attention will come from your past. Be on guard. Michael issues a critical warning. There is someone who wants to come back into your life, not to love you, but to delay you. This person may be one of the traitors or someone connected to them. When they see you on the verge of success, they will want to return to sabotage it again. They will not come with an angry face. They will come with sweet words. They will say everything you wanted to hear months ago, but this time it's too late. They have missed the divine deadline. They will apologize. They will say they were wrong. They will promise to change, but their intentions are not pure. They had their chance, but they chose betrayal. Now that door is closed. The divine deadline for that reconciliation has passed. So what should you do? The message is clear. Forgive them. Bless them, but do not go back. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. It frees you from the burden of resentment. Blessing them is an act of spiritual maturity, wishing them well from a distance. But do not go back is an act of wisdom and self-preservation. Do not give them the chance to hurt you again. The reason you must be firm is because God is sending someone else, someone real, someone pure, someone sent, not someone attached. You must clear the space in your life to welcome new blessings. If you go back to old, toxic relationships, you will have no room for the new, healthy ones God has ordained for you. Here is Michael's final warning on this matter. Do not ignore the signs. Do not go back to the people who tried to silence you. The season for tolerating deceit is over. You must separate, or their karma will try to follow you. Staying connected to them could entangle you in their karmic consequences. A clean break is necessary for your safety and freedom. You are standing on the threshold of a completely new era. A new book of your life is being opened, and your next chapter is titled Restoration. Everything that was stolen, everything that was lost, everything that was hurt, it will all be restored, not to its old level, but many times over. But before the ink is dry on that new page, you must let go of every lie they have told you about yourself. This is your part. Heaven has done its part. Now you must choose to believe the new truth. You must abandon the negative self-perceptions that have been ingrained in your mind. Repeat these affirmations like a mantra until you believe them. You are not hard to love. You are not replaceable. You are not too late. You are not broken. You are not invisible. You are seen. This is the truth. Anything contrary to these words is a lie from the enemy. The change is not a slow process. It can happen instantly. Everything changes right now, the very moment you decide to believe. This message, an energetic shift occurs. This process of elevation may not always be easy. God says, I am raising you up in the silence, in the strength, in the storm, in the solitude. True growth often happens in quiet places, in trials, and in times when you feel alone. But it is a purposeful solitude, not abandonment. And what you have waited for so long is coming quickly. A blessing that has been delayed for years is now coming to you swiftly. The waiting is over. The time of acceleration has begun. Your name is not just being vindicated, it is being honored. Right now, the angels are holding their breath as your name is being carved into a new book, the book of elevation, of answered prayers, of tangible miracles. You will see it. You will feel it. You will live in it. Your future is not just good, it will be miraculous. You will be a living testimony to God's faithfulness and power. This message, above all, is about the liberating power of truth. Truth has been released, and once the truth is spoken, chains begin to fall. Every lie you believed was a link in the chain holding you back. As the truth shines, those links begin to melt away. You are no longer trapped in the illusion they placed around your name. You are free. That spiritual prison, with its walls of deceit, is crumbling. You are walking out of the rubble, breathing free air for the first time in a long time. Too. Receive the spiritual inheritance God has for you. You cannot skip the hard part. To receive it, You must know the truth first, the full, unvarnished, unadulterated truth. Facing the betrayal, the pain, is a necessary part of the healing process. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. And know that this moment has been long awaited. Heaven has been waiting for this day. The day you learn the truth, the day you are set free, is a day of celebration in heaven. The entire universe is cheering for your freedom. This truth also gives power back to you. It frees you from dependency on others for your healing and wholeness. You do not need their apology to heal. You do not need their approval to rise. You do not need their explanation to feel free. Your healing comes from God and from your own choice to let go. Your rising comes from your divine destiny. Your freedom comes from accepting the truth. Do not wait for an apology that may never come. Do not give them the power to decide when you can be happy. Take your power back now. You already have everything you need. God says, you have everything you need. You have me, and that is enough. Any feeling of lack, any feeling that you need someone else to complete you, is an illusion. When you have God, you have everything. He is your provider, your protector, your companion, your love. So, make a conscious decision right now. Do not doubt this message. Do not deny your worth. Do not ignore the shift. Choose to believe. Choose to accept your worth. Choose to embrace the change that is coming. Your status has changed. You are no longer in a season of waiting for validation. You are in a season of unstoppable revelation. You are no longer someone seeking recognition from others. You are someone who carries revelation, and your light will speak for itself. Your destiny is being rewritten in the heavenly realms. This imagery is repeated multiple times to emphasize its importance. Michael says, your name is written on a scroll that is burning with glory. It is not just written, it is burning, a beacon of hope and victory for all the heavens to see. Your name is being carved into a new book, the book of elevation, of answered prayers, of tangible miracles. This is a specific promise. Your future will be marked by promotion, by your prayers being clearly answered, and by miracles you can see and touch. And there will be a great reversal in how others see you. You are about to be remembered by someone who pretended to forget. You are about to be sought after by someone who once ignored your presence. You are about to be honored by those who once belittled your value. Divine justice is not just about punishing the wicked. It's about restoring honor to the righteous. Those who tried to erase you will be forced to witness your glory. The final confirmation of your status comes from Michael and God themselves. Michael declares, this soul is marked. This one is mine. I have protected them for years, but now I am raising them up. Heaven agrees. And God says, no one can stop what I have started in them. This is the final seal. You are marked by heaven. You belong to God. His plan for you is in motion, and it is unstoppable. Live in that truth. We are coming to the end of this message, but this is just the beginning for your life. Etch this powerful reminder into your heart. They cannot stop what God is about to do. His power is supreme. All human conspiracies are like dust before the hurricane of His divine will, and you are not stepping into this future alone. Remember this image and carry it with you every day. Archangel Michael says, you were born for this hour. You were preserved for this calling. You were protected for this purpose, and now I walk beside you, sword drawn, wings outstretched, power blazing. You have a divine bodyguard, a warrior of light, escorting you every step of the way. Walk with the confidence of someone so protected. Once more, remind yourself, do not doubt this message. Do not deny your worth. Do not ignore the shift. Doubt is the enemy of miracles. Guard your mind against it. The era of almost is over. No more delays, no more almosts, no more halfway breakthroughs. This is full, unapologetic, divine victory. Expect completeness. Expect fulfillment. God does not do things halfway. Now, the ball is in your court. The truth has been revealed. The protection has been affirmed. The future has been promised. But there is one thing that even God will not do for you. Choose for you. The message poses a direct question. You must decide. Will you step forward and claim what is yours? Or will you let fear keep you in a place you never belonged? This is the moment of truth. Will you believe what you have just heard? Or will you let old habits, old fears pull you back? The choice is yours. But you do not make this choice alone. God is with you. The angels are surrounding you. The truth has been revealed. All of heaven's support is available to you. To walk this new path, you must stay awake spiritually, emotionally, intuitively. Do not go back to sleep. Pay attention, listen, and you will start seeing the signs. Heaven will not leave you guessing. They will confirm this message with specific signs. Repeating numbers 111, 444, 777. Strange dreams, phone calls from the past, insincere apologies, sudden urges to travel, seemingly random emails, people talking about you indirectly. Pay attention. The truth is beginning to leak out. Become a spiritual detective, gathering the evidence of the truth being unveiled all around you. And the final advice from God, a loving and simple instruction. Trust me. Keep your heart pure. Let me handle the rest. Your job is to trust, to keep your motives pure. God's job is to fight the battles, arrange the details, and bring the victory. So what does that future look like? It is radiant. You will rise. You will succeed beyond their wildest imagination, and they will weep not for what they lost, but because heaven favored the one they tried to destroy, the one they underestimated, the one who stayed quiet, prayed, believed, and waited. That one is you, and now your moment has come. Your glory will be the greatest vindication. Let these final affirmations wash away any remaining fear and doubt. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are seen. You are loved. You are protected. You are about to walk through a door that others said was permanently closed. And on the other side of that door, joy, peace, grace, and vindication are waiting for you like old friends. Your future is not a strange and scary place. It is a homecoming where blessings have been waiting for you all along. This is not just a message. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your divine appointment with a future you never imagined could be this good. Seize it. Live in it. Become it. Now go. The truth has found you. It has knocked on the door of your heart. The only question left is, will you open it? If the answer is yes, if you accept this message, if you are ready to step into the new chapter titled Restoration, then perform an act of faith right now. Type a simple but powerful affirmation in the comments section. I accept. I am ready. This act is not for me. It is for you. It is a declaration to the universe, a signal to heaven that you have heard, you believe, and you are stepping forward. It is your seal on this new divine contract. Walk boldly. Walk wisely. Walk protected. You are not alone. You are never alone. And this time, everyone will see what heaven saw in you all along.